beautiful, welcome back to the channel. What's up? I hope you are having a great day. My name's Caitlin if you are new here. So whenever I start out a new bullet journal, I always think what spreads. What spreads should I be including in my bullet journal? So I've decided to come up with a video on 75 different bullet journal spread ideas to include when you are starting up your bullet journal or just throughout the year. Without further ado, let's just hop on into the video. Whenever I am starting a bullet journal, I always think of what to include in my bullet journal setup. I love setting up a new bullet journal every single year, but I always have to decide what bullet journal spreads I'm going to use at the beginning, at the end, or just generally throughout. So I thought I would come up with 75 bullet journal spread ideas that anybody can use in their bullet journal, and I've broken them down into categories. The first category here is the basics. Now these are things that you're gonna see generally in every single bullet journal. Things like an index, a key, grid spacing, future log, monthly log, weekly log, and daily task list. Now I have a whole video dedicated on if you are new to bullet journaling and how to begin a bullet journal, and I'll link that up above if you're interested in checking it out. That kind of goes through the general setup of what a bullet journal should look like. Next category is hobbies and leisure. These are things like goals. So if you have like yearly, monthly, quarterly, as many kind of goals that you'd like, a vision board, maybe you'd like to take some Skillshare classes or keep a record of what books, podcasts, movies, or TV shows that you want to listen to as well. I personally love games. My girlfriend and I play game boards all the time, and that could be something that you could track if your favorite board games, ones that you'd like to buy, or different online games as well. I know in the digital age that is definitely something that you could track as well. Recently I've done different lettering practices, so I've done calligraphy lettering and then just different styles as well, so that could be a hobby for myself, as well as YouTube videos. But one thing that I recently thought of when I was out beer tasting is you could do a beer tasting review, as well as like a blog post that I love. So those are just kind of some hobbies and leisure. And then we get into the physical and mental health column. Now, when I am setting up a new bullet journal this year, I definitely think I'm going to be focusing a lot more on this. When I set up my mid-year bullet journal and I figured out how to plan that out, one of the things that I did include in that video was a step tracker. And I didn't really go back to it as much as I'd like, so I kind of have to rejig exactly what I want to do. But you could do things like step tracker, different workout trackers, sleep tracker, period, weight, or food intake, as well as water intake, maybe some meals to try, grocery lists, things like a calorie tracker, all of those stuff for your physical health. But then you could also focus a bit more on mental health with a gratitude log, self-care trackers like your routine or different self-care ideas. Maybe you have a medication tracker, an allergy tracker that you need to make sure you have a record of. If you like doing scripture or prayer recording, that could be something as well you could do for mental health. And then one that I've seen a lot in the bullet journal community is a year in pixels, specifically for mood trackers, but you can do this really for any other type of tracker as well when you are setting up your bullet journal in the new year. Another planner spread idea is seasonal trackers. So coming up to the end of the year and Christmas holidays, this definitely got thought of a lot. So you could have things like a stocking stuffer, gifts to buy, different savings challenges for Christmas, or a Christmas countdown as well. But you could also have something like your birthday for gift ideas, as well as other things like countdowns for trips or holidays or different events that you're going to. Maybe instead you'd like to have a baby name list or a wedding registry written down, same thing with a baby registry. Anything that you could track for different seasons or things that don't happen all the time throughout the year, that could be something as well. Moving on to another different spread ideas to use in my bullet journal. This is where I started bullet journaling, and it was with student trackers. And I have so many videos on these. I'll link a playlist up above for you if you're interested in checking those out. But The general go-tos for student spreads for me is to have a timetable in there somewhere, just so I know when all of my classes are and when I can fill the gaps in with different study sessions or going to the gym, things like that. And then you could also do a homework tracker, an assignment tracker, different exam prep notes, class information, a grade tracker, hopefully you get 100%, and then of course syllabus. Ongoing list is the next category of different spread ideas to include in your new bullet journal. Things like favorite banners or fonts. I always love going back to that because I like to switch things up in my bullet journal so I use it a bit more. Favorite music, quotes, maybe a wish list, either for Christmas, birthdays, other events, a camping list or an ongoing road trip planner like an itinerary or a packing list is always good to have. Things that you're going to replicate often throughout different camping or to road trips. Different date ideas. 20 things to do before turning 20, and you can like replace that with any year. So for example, I would do 24 things before I turn 24. When did I do last? Like cleaning, maybe called a family member, and then 101 things to do before the end of the year. That's definitely something I would like to include in my 2020 bullet journal spread ideas because I think it would be really fun to have a bucket list. Finally, second last one is a work and finance. Things like savings trackers, bill trackers, debt trackers. If you have student loans, maybe credit card debt or a car repayment, those are some ideas as well. Different budget spreads. If you work in the tip industry, like as a server, you could track your tips coming in, if they're credits or on cash. Then you have job applications. Maybe you're looking for a new job and you want to track that. Meeting notes, different project boards, lesson plans if you're a teacher, overtime hours as well if you need to track that for your work. And then the last category for different spread ideas to use in your bullet journal could be like this other category, just a random list of stuff. So social media tracker, maybe you want to track how many hours you're online if you're trying to reduce that habit. For me, I would track something like milestones. You could do a life and photos, brain dump, package tracker. I actually tried that out and it was really helpful when I actually used it. And then you have like an ideal schedule or daily routine. Maybe you are a plant fanatic and you like watering plants. For me, I would do something like a washi tape doodle a day or a pen or markers test. Again, just because it's bullet journal related. Things like favorite recipes, passwords, moving house. I have a whole series on how to move and plan for that in bullet journal as well. But then other information like doctors or medical info or insurance. So those are just 75, well actually there are more than 75 ideas that you can include in your bullet journal when you are starting a bullet journal in the new year. Well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you to Katniss, who has left a comment down below. I definitely loved the zodiac theme as well from the last video and definitely will be using it in the future. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. It really does help support the channel to grow, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye!
Hit that like button. Did you already pause it?
No, I haven't.
Hit that like button, smash the subscribe